Good morning, everyone. We are continuing here in the words of the Beis Halevi in his Maimar Bitachon, and he is speaking about this idea that from the mon, the heavenly bread that fell min hashamayim from the heavens, we learn that HaKadosh Baruch Hu takes care of all of our parnasa and our financial needs, and the amount of his shtadlus, effort that a person is going to make is actually quite minimal. And there is a fascinating pasuk in the Torah and a Rashi over here that alludes to this in a very strong way. It says, "Vayomer Moshe el Aaron," Moshe told Aaron HaKohen the following: "Kach tzinsenes achas, take for yourself one jar, v'sen shama melea omer mon, and put a full measure of mon inside of that jar. V'hanach oisei lifnei Hashem, and you should then place this jar of mon before Hashem, which means in the Aron, in the ark, the mishmeres adorasechem, it'll be a safekeeping and a testimony for all generations." So why did Moshe Rabbeinu want? Barely anybody goes into the Aron. Nobody sees so much what's going on. What was Moshe Rabbeinu? What did he want? That this mon should be there for all generations. So Rashi brings down the following: B'yimei Yirmiyahu, in the days of the prophet Yirmiyahu Hanavi, he saw the Jewish people were beginning to fall apart in their obligations of learning Torah. And he began to exhort them, he gave them criticism. Why aren't you learning? They answered him, if we end up leaving our work, our business, our stores, and all making all the effort, and we start learning Torah, how are we going to make a livelihood? Where's the money going to come from? What, you want me to sit in the Beis HaMidrash and learn Torah all day long, or 3 hours a day, or 4 hours a day, or come after a long day of work? How am I going to make a living? Yirmiyahu went into the ark, and he took out this jar of mon. And he said, look and see the word of Hashem. It doesn't say, hear the word of Hashem, rather see the word of Hashem. With this man, and it's like your forefathers, they were provided for and sustained all of those years in the wilderness, 40 years. HaKadosh Baruch Hu has many messengers to do His will. HaKadosh Baruch Hu will be mechen. He will prepare sustenance and food and parnasa liyireya for those who fear Him. So why are you worrying? If you need to go and dam with a minyan, if you need to go and learn some Torah, if you need to be involved in a chesed and engage in mitzvahs and spend some extra money on matzah or kosher meat, what are you worrying about? Where is your parnasa going to come from? HaKadosh Baruch Hu has harbe shluchim l'makayim. He has many messengers along the way. He can send you a check from the government just for being an American. He could send you a customer into the store who decides to spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars today on your merchandise that you didn't sell already in a few months. He can bring in miraculous ideas into your head that helps you to corner the market in a certain way, and suddenly you're living on easy street. HaKadosh Baruch Hu has many ways that He can do things, and if you will just be a maimin, you will believe, and you'll be Beitech B'Hashem, that just as HaKadosh Baruch Hu provided for His nation in the midbar, in the wilderness, by raining down the mon from Shemayim every single day. And as we pointed out yesterday, if you took too much, it's spoiled. If you took a little, you got exactly what you needed. Nobody could have more, nobody could have less. Hashem provided for everyone exactly what was needed for that day. That's why there are those in the world of Bitachon. I think you would find this in Nevarduk by the Alt of Nevarduk and all of his Talmidim. They wouldn't have a bank account. Why wouldn't they have a bank account? You have expenses coming up, you have weddings you have to make, you have tuitions you have to pay for, you have mortgages that need to be taken care of every month. What's wrong with a bank account? Because they hold if a person has a bank account, that means already they're planning for tomorrow and they're putting it away. And they always feel every single day, I don't have to worry, there's money in the bank. About bitachon, somebody with real bitachon, with real trust in the Rabbi Shalom, Person says, just as Klal Yisrael lived with the man, and they didn't know the next day where their sustenance was going to come from, yet they trusted in HaKadosh Baruch Hu that as today He brought down the man, He'll bring down the man as well tomorrow. So therefore they say, a real Baal Bitachon, somebody with true trust and faith in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I don't need a bank account. I trust that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to take care of me tomorrow, just as He had taken care of me today. The Heilige Horowitz, he had a little store in which was his Parnasa came from that store. He sold wares. He sold flour and salt and sugar, the things that people needed in their homes. And his store hours varied every single day. He kept his store open long enough in order to make the money that he needed to survive for that day. So if he opened the store at 9 in the morning and by 9:30 enough customers came in and he made his 2 or 5 rubles, whatever he needed, he said, that's it, the store is closed, I'm back in the Beis HaMidrash, I have to go learn. If it was a longer day, it took till 10 o'clock, till 11 o'clock, till 12 o'clock, but once he hit the register, hit the mark, that's it, the door was closed, and he said, I'm going back to do my other duties, teaching, learning, writing Svarim, and taking care of Klal Yisrael. This is the way of a Baal Bitachon who believes what it says in the Torah about the man. If Hashem says, I'll bring you the man, there's so many ways I can do it, you have nothing to worry about, so then we also have nothing to worry about in our Parnasa as well. Now it doesn't mean that you have to go and cash out your bank accounts today and take all the money and stick it in a sock and put it in your top drawer, and you'll go and you'll spend it and say, I don't need to worry, it's going to come. Those are lofty, lofty levels of bitachon. Most likely we're not on that level, and therefore many of the poskim, many of our authorities say to have a bank account is not a chesaron, it is not a lacking of bitachon. That would be the regular hishtadlus that a person would do in our generation. But suffice to say, as Hashem provided the man for Klal Yisrael daily, to let us be aware that Hashem is the one who's bringing all of our sustenance, we have to be mechazik and strengthen ourselves to realize, I can do hishtadlus. Of course you do hishtadlus. But more hishtadlus is not going to change what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants to bring me. And just as the Jewish people had the man in the midbar, Hashem sends me my own man, my own sustenance, my own parnasa, and the more that I'm beiteach b'Hashem, I trust in Him and I rely upon Him, the more I will see this to be true in my own life. Have a wonderful day.